Nice to see everybody today. Good to be seen. There we go. There we go. It's over. That's how we do. That's how we do. We put the intro in and then we end it because someone put the wrong intro in. Nice to see you. My name is Dean. Please welcome back to the program. One Lochlin Cross from 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. So dude, I haven't done a podcast or like a stream in like a long time. So I'm just fucking with buttons right now. We're like all over the place. We got the wrong intro. We got the wrong visuals. It doesn't matter because we're here. How are you? Just got back from Vegas. You just had an election. The Maple Leafs are exploding in this city.
That'll be fun to watch.
My phone went flying off my fucking car this morning. I had the worst morning of my life. Oh yeah, dude. Let's start there. Okay, let's just start there. So I get back from Vegas at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Take this fucking terrible long flight. I'm on this flight. Swoop, lovely people. Nice to see you. Great week doing business in Vegas. Excellent week. Lots of fun. I don't drink, so I didn't have as much fun as anybody else. But I'm tired. Like, it was just fucking meeting.
Yeah.
So you get home, it's 1 o'clock. I kind of fart around, get stuff put away. I take a phone call from a buddy of mine who was on his way home to at like 1:30. So I get to bed at like 2:30. So my son wakes me up at like 7 and he's like, dude, I got to go to work. I'm like, holy fuck. Okay, yeah, let's go to work.
2:30 in them.
Yeah, I got home at 2:30. Like I went to bed at 2:30. So I'm like on 3.5 hours sleep. And so grab my phone, grab a coffee, go out to the car. Like a fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. I take my phone and I set it on top of my car. That old move. You know when you see someone driving down White Mud, they got a coffee on their car? How about a fucking $3,000 phone? Just zooming around with it on the top of my car. So then I take off. I take my son to work. Actually take his girlfriend to work first, and then I'm taking him to work. And I'm like, have you seen my phone? So he checks it. It's like in the middle of the fucking road, about 5 miles behind where we just came. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is incredible. This is shortly after someone had run over a bag of garbage that I was also dragging around under my car because I was gone for a week, so my kids used the car. So on top of that, there was no creamer when I woke up this morning, and I'm like, holy fuck, there's no creamer in this house. So no creamer, car's full of garbage. Then I put my phone on my car. This is all within a half hour. It's all within a half hour. And I don't mean to start with some negativity because we're going to move on to the positive stuff in just a second. So then Zoom, I take off, can't find my phone, find it on my son's iPhone. We go back, I pick it up. It is like there's shit hanging out of it. It's been run over 400 times. So I'm like, fuck. And have you ever lost your phone in the middle of like 4 business deals or a whole bunch of shit going on, and your girlfriend can't get a hold of you, your kids can't get? Have you ever literally lost your phone?
Girlfriend?
We'll get to that later. Have you ever lost your phone? Like
I don't
that,
know if I'm going to be able to move on.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it later. But there's this panic that set in where it's like, I realized in that moment, I'm fucking useless without that thing. Like perfectly useless. I can't get a hold of anybody. If I run out of gas, I'm fucked. And it was like this stream of emotion that came over me to the point where I'm like, I'm the weakest man alive. I can't fucking deal without not having my phone.
It's disturbing
and it dawned on me that in that moment, like, I am so dependent on that dumb fucking thing that drives me crazy that there is no way I can be attached to that phone. And like, I'm off Twitter. Like, I've been on Twitter very little. Our business is on Twitter. All of our businesses are on Twitter. It's fine. We're across all platforms, but I'm not fucking around with idiots anymore. It's no point. So I've had this really nice renaissance and I thought, I don't need my phone. Dude, I was in a lather. I couldn't find my phone. I was in a lather now that it was broken. And so I come back and I literally had no idea what to do. Have you ever done that where you sit and look at something and you're like, what do I do now? My phone's broken. That's how stupid our phones have made me. Like absolutely stupid. Anyway, I go to this place in the mall and I take my phone and the guy's like, what did you do? So it's fucking broken. What does it matter what I did? What do you mean? Like, what did I do? He goes, how many times you run over? And I'm like, fuck, what does it matter how many times I ran it over? It wasn't me that ran it over. It's like 15 cars. He goes, we fix. And I'm like, all right, you fix. I'll watch.
They fixed the phone?
Not only did they not fix the phone.
Give you a new one.
No, they give me a loaner. I got to get it. It's fucking demoed. I can't get the phone. So he says, do you have device protection? I'm like, I sure do. And he's like, okay, no problem. That'll be $300. I'm like, what are you talking about? $300. I got fucking full
I love device protection. You pay fucking $1,000 for it, and then when you go to replace your phone, it's another $300.
It costs you $300. Yeah, and I'm sitting there. I go, okay, hang on. I have full device protection, like the best device protection you can get for your phone, because I'm the idiot that leaves his phone around the car, and I know it. So I head my idiocy off at the pass. That's what you have to do if you're an idiot. So I get device protection. So as I'm asking this guy why I have to give him an extra $300 for device protection, he's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And I go,
I'll
"Oh, good. I
waive
don't
it.
have to wait." Oh no, he just kept saying, "Don't worry about it." So he goes to get. I go, "Can I get a loaner? Because I'm not going to get a phone for the next like 2-3 days. So just give me a loaner." And
How
he's
do
like,
they not have phones for
he's like,
you?
"That'll be $300." I'm like, "Okay, you just want me to give you fucking $300? Is that like what you do?" I couldn't fucking believe it. Anyway, a success. Phone's in. Gave me a really nice little yellow phone, but that was literally in the first 3 hours
You
of my morning.
got a yellow.
Oh yeah, a nice little yellow Apple phone. Fucking unbelievable.
That's like, you know what that is?
What's that?
You got the water ball.
Yeah, I totally got the water ball. Guy's like, "Here, you want this phone?" I'm like, "I don't even give a shit. I just need to be able to make phone calls." It's like, I don't care about anything else. But how about that morning? And on top of it, device protection isn't really device protection. They get you every time. It's like, give us fucking $50 a month for this. You're like, all right, because I know myself. I know I'm gonna fucking drive over this phone 400 times.
I don't pay that stuff. Never pay those things. Never pay it.
I got
Never
the
pay the
extra
warranty.
warranty.
Walk away.
Seriously?
Walk away every time because it is a major scam. If you talk to anybody that sells this shit, they'll tell you the same thing. Insurance is it's all a complete nightmare. We had Sun Life, and when my wife and I at one point we were like, what if something happens to us and the kids are going to be screwed? So this is 10 years ago. We went and we sat down with a Sun Life agent and we got this thing, $30 a month. We had to do the test to make sure we hadn't smoked and all this. Yeah, we had life insurance. We got this thing. And it was primarily in case, like if we both died in a fiery crash, we were leaving something behind for the kids so that they would be taken care of. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's $30 a month, right? And I get a note from the guy about a month ago saying you're coming up on the end of your 10 years and it's going to go up, unfortunately. And I'm like, how much is it going to go up? He goes, oh, it'll be $191 a month. And I went, well, you can pound sand.
Fuck yourself. Yeah.
So now we don't have life insurance.
Yeah.
Well, like, how do you justify it was $32 for me and like $30 for my wife, $60 a month? How can you possibly wrap your head around it going up 100, like 200 or 300%?
You know, that's an industry that skates a lot, don't they? You're bringing up a good point here. That insurance industry, the old extra protection industry, the old "don't worry, we got you" industry, they fuck you on purpose. And it's like the second you say to yourself, like, I thought device protection, which I paid for I don't know how long have I had an iPhone? 10 years. Every time I get an iPhone, device protection. This is the very first time in 10 years that I've been shoveling money at Rogers and into this thing. And listen, I don't want to be a cheap ass. I'm telling you that I understand insurance. But now at the age of 50, I'm like, whoa, insurance companies, let's have a little chat.
Listen, you paid for
fuckers. I'm giving you like $80,000 in insurance premiums. You could fucking just send me a new phone like right now. That's all you have to do. Same thing with life insurance premiums. And they're like, oh, it's going to come as dude, I've paid into this thing for 30 years, 20 years. And now you're telling me you're going to up that? And I haven't made a claim on any of my insurance. And they're like, yeah, it's just the way it goes. It's fucking legitimate.
Not only that,
criminal enterprise.
They go way out of their way to like, and I've said this before about like putting claims in for anything, right? Like for my wife, it was a part-time job because you were constantly sending this document and I got to redo this and and you know what happens when that like 99% of the population, right? It doesn't fight. They just go, oh, okay, well, I guess I didn't get that. Oh, well, I'll keep going on in my day. And then they win, right? That's fact that you stood up for yourself at the counter for the $300 and you still got screwed.
I paid it anyway. I was like, I don't fucking care, dude. I got to go back into a podcast. Just give me the yellow phone. I'll give you $5,000 if you want. If you just get me a fucking new phone at this point. I'm that person too. It's like, I'll just throw money at the problem. I could care less. It's like, I have a problem. You need to fix it. What is it going to cost me? And how much time can you save me? Like, that's really the key for most of us, right? Like when
I lose money on stuff, though,
do this fast, I could care less.
When I get screwed, I think about it for years.
Do you really? You stay resentful? Do you get angry? Are you still angry about something happened to you when you were a kid? Something that happened to you in your adult years. The insurance thing really bothers you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
the insurance stuff bothers me. I got a call from ICBC when I was 18. I was just about to move away from home. It was a month away from moving from home.
Yeah.
And I had an accident when I was 17. Was coming home from one of my jobs, and this woman, drunk, American citizen, no insurance, no driver's license, hit the side of the bridge and turned around sideways, got out of the car and left her door open. And I come around the corner and I'm like, what the hell's that? And then all of a sudden, whoop, the last second I threw my brakes on and I hit her door. And it totaled my tercel, like complete write-off. And the insurance claim that the person came out, they declared me 0% at fault, 100% her fault. She had the previous accident that caused the accident that I was a part of. And then she had no insurance, no driver's license, nothing. Like, I mean, they went after this woman. What did she do? She was living in Canada at the time, but she was an American citizen. She just got one of her buddies to drive her to the border and she took off on them. So they spend a year trying to track her down and get money from her, right?
Yeah.
That didn't work. So what did they do? They reopened the file after they already told me I didn't owe any money. And they called me up and said, we've decided to reassess your file. And we've decided that you're 50% at fault and you owe us this amount of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can pound sand. And I'm yelling at this guy on the phone. And then my mom steps in, and I'm still mad at my mom for this. She steps in and says, you know what? Just pay it. And I'm like, what? And the guy on the phone goes, listen, kid, how old are you? And I'm like, what? He goes, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 18. He goes, you know what's going to happen with this? You're going to fight this, and we're going to throw everything we have at it. And we're going to drag this out, and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars in insurance or in legal fees. And it's going to
sit with you forever.
And then he said, and then you're going to lose. And then what's going to end up happening is you're going to pay that, and then you're going to pay the higher deductibles. Just eat this. And I'm like, fuck. So I ate it, and I swear to God, I'm still sick of it. And if I ever move back to BC, and I swear to you, if I ever moved, ICBC, criminal organization.
They all are
criminal.
All of them.
I would live
these nice fucking TV commercials about how they're helping you with your insurance. Fuck you. You're not helping anybody. You're fucking us.
Here's what I would do. If I ever got in an accident in BC and I'm fighting ICBC, I will bankrupt myself to fight them. I will go. I will spend the last penny I have, and I will make a point of not losing. And if I lose, I'm going to re-sue them. I'm going to keep going. I swear to God, I made that promise that long ago. If I ever had anything to do with ICBC.
Yeah, you might be that guy that actually might do it. Like most people will go, young dumb.
No, you don't know me. You don't know me that well. You don't think I
actually do. Actually, that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, I hope he moves to BC, and I hope he records every single fucking court date and phone call. I would love to see that. Just trigger.
I'm gonna just go after him. I might even just get into accidents just to have fights with ICBC. I'll tell you what's happening with me right now.
What's that?
I'm in the middle of a neighborhood porch pirate sting operation.
Oh, are you serious? Is there a glut of porch piracy in the area you live in?
Yes.
And was there a Facebook group created? Here's how I see this. People losing packages.
This is a good idea. Facebook group.
I'm helping you right now.
I'm taking notes.
Losing packages. A couple neighbors standing outside having a pint, going, "Stuff moving from yeah. Let's fucking. Do you got a Ring doorbell? Yeah. Let's start a group. Let's start a neighborhood." That's how these vigilante groups of neighbors start. This is how murder begins.
Okay, so I want to tell you a story, and I want to get your opinion on this.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So we moved here in November, and we came from the burbs, St. Albert, safest damn community in the country. Never had any issues like this. Never had anybody break into our house, break into a car, steal a package. We never worried about this stuff. I never had a Ring camera on the house in St. Albert. We moved into the city, and we're right on the LRT line, which is the train.
Yeah.
And we're close to, we're right in the middle of the city. And we love it. We love our new lifestyle. We love our new house. We got scooters. We're zipping around on Friday nights. We're going for dinner. It's fantastic. But we've already had a buddy. He stayed with us, and he left a bottle of scotch on his car. It left his car open for some stupid reason. I don't know why. But he had a bottle of scotch in the back seat of his car. That got ripped off. Nothing else.
You sure it wasn't you? You sure you didn't go, oh,
I'm not
where's that
scotch guy. No, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, mind you, he did dummy a bottle and a half of rye in 2 days when he was here. Anyway, so, and then in November, we also had, I think, 3 packages ripped off from Amazon. And then I had to get on the phone. It's such a raging pain in the ass. You got to get on the phone. They will reimburse you, but they had them stolen. So then we bought a Ring camera and put it in, and we haven't had an issue until about 2 weeks ago. And my wife ordered, we got these, she wanted those things you can put between the blinds to dust them. It's like 19 bucks.
Oh, yeah. Swiffer. It's got a whole bunch of little things. It's a great deal.
Yeah. So she ordered them on Amazon. It shows up, and that box gets stolen. Here's the weird thing about this theft is that I've got the Ring camera now. It shows up, like I got the thing on my phone, right? It shows up when somebody comes to the door, so I can go check. So I go to the video, and the guy drops it off, and then it's me like 45 minutes later taking the dog for a walk, and there's no video of this thing. So I went on the air and I said, somebody needs to explain how the fuck did this thing get taken from the steps? And somebody called up and said, ironically, you can order these things called Wi-Fi blockers, and these porch pirates now, what they do is they buy them and they put them in their pocket and turn them on. And so within 25, 30, 40, 50 feet, you walk up and it stops the Wi-Fi so the camera won't record.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Holy shit. Are you so wait a second. Porch piracy has gone high tech. So these aren't just idiots that are like, pouring out of a bar, swiping a package. This is intentional now. Like you got people running around with Wi-Fi blockers going, and they walk up and they grab your shit. That is fucking new. That's what that is.
Here's another thing. Okay, here's another thing.
And I got to tell you, I don't mind it. I think it's kind of an ingenious little thing for porch piracy. I think it's a nice little level up.
Stop encouraging this. So anyway, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about the fact that we're losing packages. And we've also tried to get them to deliver to, they have, like, you can ask Amazon to deliver it to a secure place. The problem with that is everyone's doing that now. So they lock down the secure places after a certain period of time because they're too full. So now that option's slowly dying because that's what we started to do. We started to do that. But then when they don't do that, and then the other thing they won't do sometimes is they won't deliver to a business address. So I can't always get it delivered to work. So anyway, it's been a bit of an issue. And so the other thing that I've been thinking about lately, and listen, I know that.
What do you say a bit of an issue? Hold it. Let me back up. When you say it's been a bit of an issue, you mean porch piracy is a bit of an issue?
It's not.
And what are you doing to organize? Because when you say we're organizing a neighborhood, well, how are you organizing? That's the thing.
I'm keeping the neighborhood safe. Here's what's happening.
Yeah, tell me. What's the deal? What's your plan? What's your plan to end porch piracy?
I've been stalking the neighborhood, and I figured something out. I have a theory. Yeah. And it's a bad theory. I think I know what's going on. And it's based on, we have this one guy that delivers to our neighborhood pretty consistently. I see him all the time. He's always on his fucking headset. He's always chatting with somebody. I think this dick is complicit, and he's calling a buddy and telling him if it's okay to come by and grab a package that he delivers.
Do you have any? Okay, well, listen.
I have zero proof. Okay, 100% speculation. Pulled that out of my ass. But here's the other thing.
No, we've told Amazon. I love that the conjecture in your brain is coming out and you're like, this is what I think. I also love, because you're doing the opposite of what everybody else does in 2023, specifically on fucking social media, where you're like, this is the deal. This is what's happening. I know it. Everybody knows it. Everybody says, you're like, hey, this is my theory. Also, I have no proof.
Absolutely no proof. But I'm going to tell you a couple things. One,
I can't wait
we've
for the rest
told Amazon, if you're delivering a package to our door, ring the fucking doorbell. They're the only ones that don't.
Generally, why not?
No,
dude. Every time I got two packages from Amazon today, boom, boom. The guy hit it twice, went down.
This guy's not fucking doing that. And we've actually added it to when we put the order in. It says in there under instructions for delivery, ring the goddamn doorbell. And then we've added to it, put the package, if you can, behind the planter. We have a planter, so it would hide it from view from the front of the house. Okay?
Yeah.
And not doing that. He throws it on the fucking porch. And so I think he's complicit. So on the weekend, I caught him. He delivered a package. I saw him and I ran out and I was like, hey, listen, if you're going to fucking deliver to my house or anybody's house, ring the goddamn bell. Ring the fucking doorbell and put it behind the planter. Right? Like, do your job. Listen, I feel bad it can't be the easiest job. And what? I bet you 90
fucking Amazon delivery guy. Do you feel terrible for a guy that gets paid, $30 an hour?
He's probably making shit dollars.
Well, I don't feel terrible for those people.
I do.
I for sure wouldn't feel terrible for him if he was complicit and he had a little porch piracy scheme going. Like if he and his buddies are like, hey, here's the deal. I'm going to drop these packages off. And after I drop these packages
you follow me around in the neighborhood. I'll give you a heads up.
That's right. I don't feel sorry for that guy. He's double dipping. Like I get it.
I haven't caught him. And I don't have any proof that this is happening. Okay.
Well, what you do is, why don't you go and challenge him? That's what you should do. Go and challenge the guy.
I did.
And say, hey, listen,
I want to give you another example of something I did. So the other day I was out doing some work in the front yard and I saw the guy again, the same guy I yelled at on the weekend. And I stood there and he was delivering to.
Am I on?
He's on his fucking headset. Okay. But I stood there.
And you know what? In 2023, someone on their headset walking down the street, that's suspicious.
But hold on. Check this out. I stood there with my rake and I walked right up to the front of my yard and I tried to make eye contact with him. Like I tried to get him to make eye contact with me and he avoided my, which I think is a sign of being guilty. Grant thinks it has something to do with me yelling at him on the weekend.
I think it might. Yeah.
But still make eye contact.
Dude, you're 6'4". You're an enormous man. You're yelling at a fucking Amazon delivery guy, and you go to get his attention. He's not looking at you because you scare the shit out of him. You're not. Listen, when I walk up to you as I've met you, you are not a welcoming individual. And neither am I. I do not have a welcoming demeanor, welcoming face, and I'm huge like you. So let's just work that one through. First of all, if you're onto something and I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize. But unless you have any proof, you can't really challenge the Amazon guy to tell you the truth about something that you think might be going on with little or no
empirical. If somebody's snake eyeing me, I'm going to make eye contact with them.
Snake eyeing.
I was giving them snake eyes.
Were you really? Show me that look. How does it look?
Fucker. He's guilty.
Hey, you want to know my favorite porch pirate scene? This is you remember the porch pirate ring videos people were putting out when porch pirates would like steal something and someone would go bad to the porch pirate, like they get run over running across the street or something.
I saw one the other day. I hope it's the same video.
The lady who snapped her leg. I fucking you could hear it.
I can't watch that.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. You're watching it right now. We're both fucking watching it. Yeah, we are. This is great. You can see this lady who's like, she's full. She's a full-figured woman, and she runs up to steal a package, and she takes a bad step next to the flower bed. And listen for the fucking femur snapping. Here we go. Look on the right. Girl tries to steal package, falls and breaks her leg. Beautiful America. Here she comes. Here we go. Yeah, big jugs. There we go. And let's have a listen. There you go. Steal the package. There you go. Right here we go.
Oh!
Well, listen, like I'm not unhappy about this. A lot of people say, hey, listen, Dean, you're making fun of a lady that broke her leg, snapped it in half, compound fracture. My answer to that is she just stole somebody's package and tried to take off with it. And she got what I like to refer to as natural consequences. That's what we just saw there. So why don't you just let the universe take care of these porch pirates in Edmonton? Just let them.
No,
Chase
I
them
want to
across
help.
the street. Boom.
I want to
run
help.
over by one of those F-150s your brothers and sisters.
I want to help. I want to help. I want to help the cause. So the video that I saw, I don't know if you can find it, but it's a recent one. This guy has a bag, and he walks up the steps, puts a bag over top of it, and then flips it real quick and then starts walking away. And you got him in the camera. And then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, the owner drags him back to the stairs and then proceeds to just beat the living shit out of him for about 3 minutes. So it's like 5 seconds of him stealing a package really quick, putting a bag over something. And then it's like 30 seconds waiting for the guy to return. And then the two of them return. And then it's just...
Oh, he's in Texas. I'm reading about it. The video doesn't exist anymore because the owner, the guy that got beat, the dude that got beat by the owner of the house, sued the owner of the house for beating him way too fucking hard. So they had to take the video down.
It was such a good video. Literally, it's like 3 minutes, and then it just like goes to the TikTok thing, and I'm like, yeah. And he just pounded the daylights out of him. There's the other famous one where the guy,
too, he's lucky he only got his fucking head kicked in.
Well, honestly, I don't know why you would do that in the States.
That's not
You've got to
something
have
you do
a
in the
death
States.
wish.
Yeah, stealing a fucking package in the States off of someone's porch where they are legally allowed to shoot you in the head as you
There's a famous one where a guy comes out of his living room and goes, "What did you just do? Are you the dumbest motherfucker in the world?" And he's got like a machine gun. And he racks it. And he goes, "You're bringing that back." And the guy like walks over cautiously and puts the package back. "That's right, motherfucker. Get out of here." And then he turns around to his buddies and he's like, "Can you believe how dumb this guy is? I just about put a cap in his ass."
Was it in the snow? Was it in a city where there was snow? Because I got a video. It
was in the state. It was in the, yeah, it was in a rougher neighborhood. You could tell the guy clearly like Chicago, like one of those, but he came out fully armed.
Dude, that's not the place you want to steal a package. Canada, fucking steal away. Get your Wi-Fi jammers. Steal.
Not in my neighborhood.
Yeah, go for it. Can I ask you a question about Alberta other than the porch pirate issues?
We haven't talked about the election.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. Danielle Smith, big winner. You good? How you feeling? How is Alberta? I didn't even give a fuck. Like, this was the week that I was legitimately away on business, had no idea what was going on. We had a couple of shows, like the guys from True Eager were doing a show. I was watching part of it, and it was fucking wild watching just the coverage on our network of the Alberta election because it had like Canada-wide coverage. And listen, the beautiful province of Alberta has beautiful people in it. I've got no issues with the province of Alberta. But what's your take? I want to know your take because you've obviously talked about it. That, this woman literally ran roughshod over the province, somehow was able to do all kinds of crazy shit, like, collude with a psycho named Arthur Pulowski, take away people's rights in and around, like start fucking different police forces to harass the vaccinated. Like, she's insane, but she won, which means it's the will of the people of Alberta. So what do you make of that other than what is going on in Alberta?
Well, I got a couple of theories. One, we'll start with this.
Yeah. She's a psycho, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think the world we live in, we're too connected. And I can I use the Twitter example?
100%.
I've figured this out because quite often I will think that there's going to be something that I see on Twitter is going to be a bigger story than it is, and then it just dies. Like nothing happens with it. That like if you're standing in line at Tim Hortons for a coffee tomorrow or Monday morning and you're on your way into work and there's 30 people in there and you look around that group of people, okay, and they're all waiting to get a coffee. There might be one other person in that, or maybe two in that whole room of people that is on Twitter, looks at Twitter, gives a shit about Twitter. So you got to think about the bubble. And I think what's happened with politics and with podcasting and with like the people that I communicate with on a fairly regular basis is they're up, like you, for instance, you're like, what's going on? The rest of the world, this is my first theory. The rest of the world just is not that connected. They're just not that aware of the things that we're aware of, right? Elon Musk makes Tesla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going out of their way to find something to be angry about the latest thing Elon Musk did, right? Like they're not that connected. They might listen to some music on the weekends, or they have a TV show they like, and you know, maybe their wife is a little more connected or their husband's a little more connected, and
maybe they're connecting. You know what I'm saying?
They're not. They don't care. So Daniel,
you mean they're busy living their lives instead of fucking sitting on Twitter all day trying to fight imaginary wars? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Imaginary trans wars, imaginary.
My second theory is
wars, imaginary commie wars, imaginary Alberta, Ontario, and political wars. Is that what you're saying? Like people go to Vegas and enjoy themselves. People go outside, go for a walk. People go and rake their lawns. People chase porch pirate guys down the street. You're talking about? Hang on a second, just so I'm clear. You're talking about people who fucking moved on with their lives.
Exactly. Okay. Second, there is a really strong connection. And you know what? Listen, be mad about it if you want. You can tell me I have my head up my ass. This is just a theory. There is a real strong connection between speculation. This is speculative again. That Notley and Justin Trudeau are one and the same. And there is a real strong hatred for Justin Trudeau in the province of Alberta. And listen, people think that. People believe that the way they do politics is very similar and it's one and the same thing. So we don't really have a strong liberal presence in Alberta.
I believe no presence is more the
zero presence.
Phrase. Like
literally
zero. No one even ran in that election. So
it's bad. It's really bad. It's almost it. So what everybody's done is they've transferred their hatred for. Now this is talking about the population that is connected. Okay, they've transferred their hatred for Justin Trudeau and sort of thrown it into the Notley camp. So I think a lot of people were just like, I can't vote for Notley. It's just not going to happen because it's like giving a vote to the Liberals, Justin Trudeau. Now, listen, you can think that's dumb. I don't care. I'm just giving you a theory.
No. I get that that's part of the theory. But here's the question that I would ask you: are you surprised that she won?
No, I'm not. I told you she was going to win.
What does that
say?
You
months ago.
So listen. Here's this very specific question. What is it? What do you think that say? I know. What do you say? Well, we'll get to that in a second. What do you think that says about the province of Alberta? Because outwardly speaking, right? Now, listen, here's the thing. And I'm going to preface everything by saying I fucking hate politics. I hate the NDP as much as I hate the Conservatives. I hate any group that tells you you're going to be part of our group and you're going to think like us and you're going to tell people the things we tell you to say and you're going to fuck over the people that vote you in. All of them are duplicitous. I know one politician, one, federal, local, or provincial, one who's a human being, one. Everybody else is performative. Justin Trudeau is a performative fuck. Pierre Poilievre is an evil fuck. Jagmeet Singh is a useless fuck.
Yep.
Danielle Smith is a crazy fuck, like a crazy religious opportunist fuck who doesn't give a shit about anybody in this country. Neither does Justin Trudeau. Neither does Pierre Poilievre. They give a fuck about one thing and one thing only, and that is getting you to give them keys to something that belongs to you. So I'm going to say this real quick. I get the hatred for Trudeau. I understand why she became the premier again. But is your province insane, or
Voting
do
her
they
in?
just hate the East and Trudeau that much? Like, was it a situation where you're like, we have to vote for this psycho because we hate the East and the rest of Canada that much? Is that not sort of, because out optically to me, that's the narrative. And if that's the narrative, that's fine. I could care less. I'm not an Albertan. There are beautiful people in Alberta. I don't care who voted for who, because when you vote for a politician, you're voting for a cock. You're voting for someone who doesn't give a shit about you. You're voting for an idiot.
I think you're answering your question.
In the fucking real world. So
you're answering your question.
Well,
you've already answered it.
No, but there's minutiae.
We don't really have a choice, so I'm putting down a mark on a piece of paper, knowing that I just did something that might hurt us.
Yeah.
But I had 4 choices, and some people only had 2. I had the Green Party. I had a Liberal candidate. Sorry, I didn't. Was it a Liberal or Alberta Party? I can't remember. The third one, I can't. The fourth one, I can't remember. I voted Green Party because I could not bring myself to vote NDP or UCP. And the NDP swept the Edmonton markets. Edmonton's a very liberal community and very, very, very left-winged. So that's not surprising. Okay, so I think you answered your question. I think the reason why Danielle Smith won isn't because Alberta's fucking crazy and we're all idiots and we all think that she's the best choice. I think she won because legitimate. Okay, my third theory will help answer your question a little bit more.
Okay, and I want to get to your third theory before, but let me interject this one thing. There's a difference in values depending on where you are, right? There's a difference in education. There's a difference in values. Now, let me say this. I think it's insane that there are only 2 people running for the premiership of your province. Mm-hmm. I also think it's fucking insane that they were both women. And let me explain that. I'm a firm believer in not marginalizing people by sex, skin color, sexual preference, all that stuff. And you know that, very firm believer.
It's a unique situation to have 2 women running, but for the lead.
The establishment in that province put those 2 women head to head because they don't give a fuck about women in that province.
No. I think it was smart. I think the UCP did it.
Grab these 2 women and they put them at the front of the queue and they're like, well, let's make them look like idiots. And that is what we see in politics. That's what I saw in your province. And they're going to get spit out and chewed up and all the other shit.
I think you're wrong. Here's what I think. I think we're at such a low point with politics from the perspective of who's getting into it that these people, these 2 fine women who ran for the leadership of Alberta.
They're both idiots. They're not fine women. They're just females.
I'm trying to change the train of thought here.
Okay, sorry.
These 2 beautiful human beings ended up at the top of the list of people to go to because, and I'm not saying it's because they're women. I'm saying that it's legitimately the stupidest thing you can get yourself involved in today.
Oh, without question.
I said this. I can't vote NDP. I can't. And I did not. And I'm more conservative than I am liberal. But I can't wrap my head around voting for Danielle Smith and the UCP. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I voted in the last election. I voted Alberta Party. In this election, I voted Green Party because I have to vote. But I have 0 representation in this country. I just do across the board.
I think a lot of people find that though. Like, when you talk to somebody and they talk about representation and it's one of those things like a friend of mine voted in Alberta last week. During the election, I'm like, who'd you vote for? And person told me, and they're like, yeah, I voted for Danielle Smith, and here's why. And they were like, I shouldn't have, but I did. And, it's just whatever. I'm just so tired of X, right? And they listed with the things they were tired of, and it was these 5, 6 things. And they all sat in that woke ideology or the whole idea that people are making.
That kind of leans on my third point a little bit.
Let me say this, and I want to get to your third point because it'll dovetail into it nicely. I get that. Like, even though I don't agree with it in general, like I don't believe you should be picking your leaders according to who you hate the most.
But that's what we do. We've been doing it forever. We don't vote anybody in. We vote somebody out.
So much in certain provinces, but I'm saying this right now with this one specific example, is that to me is as weak as it gets. Like, if you're going to say, I'm going to fucking vote for this person because she hates the same people I hate. Not that
I voted for somebody who had no chance. How weak is that?
Oh, no, that's awesome. I'm not talking about you.
But I'm just as weak. I didn't vote for anybody that stood a hope in hell of winning. We all knew. Everybody knew that the NDP was going to sweep.
Totally. That's absolute strength to go and vote for someone you know you're not going to win because you put your fucking values first, right? That's what I'm saying. There's no value proposition in someone saying, I'm going to vote for this person because I hate the other guy way more, or the other guy is this, or the other person
is that. But that's where we're at. I don't blame people that do that.
I do. I think it's, see, you voted for the Green Party, and I'll tell you why, because all the other options disgust you. That's what you just said. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I totally get that. That's something I would do.
And I hope more people do that because I think we need a shift in the how this country is run locally, provincially, and federally. And I think more people need to, and I'm just setting an example. And I've done this through my life. Like, I've tried to set examples, and I'll tell you this: I'm no Pied Piper. No one's following me, so my impact is very minimal. I'm aware of that, but I think more people are going to start to do this on their own. They're going to come to the same conclusion that I've come to, that you might as well vote extreme because, and that might be, Dean, that may have been for some people throwing a vote down for Danielle Smith. Maybe. So here's my other theory. And again, I think this will help. I don't even know why I'm speaking to this because I am not an authority on this at all. But here's my
can I quickly add to that? That has never stopped you before.
Thank you. That's probably why I continue to do it. Here's my third theory.
Yeah.
We are so disgusted in this country by politics and sort of the mainstream, the woke, if you want to call it that, ideology out there. And this is not just in Alberta, this is across the board, right? That people are willing to light the thing on fire. And I think there's a bit of that. There's also, and this needs to be said out loud, there were people that legitimately think that Danielle Smith is going to actually be good for the province of Alberta. Here's what I think. I'm not going to panic too much because I benefit from the crazy by doing a radio show and a podcast in this fine province. So I'm looking forward to the unhinging of our society.
Well, there's too, right? Like that's the beautiful part of this election for me. In every election, it's like, I don't really have a dog in any race anymore. Like I'm not involved politically. I don't really give a fuck. I'm more of a commentator and an observer at this point. And as a commentator and someone that makes money off of talking about these things, I'm really excited for a Danielle Smith province. And I'm really excited for a Pierre Poilievre country, even though he's not going to win. Because I fucking love insane content, and I've seen nothing, but insane.
I think you need to prepare for the idea that PP is going to win. I'm sorry.
I saw some fucking polling the other day, some internal polling that not a lot of people get a chance to see. He is going to get fucking crushed and made like fucking the edge.
Do you remember the polling before Trump won?
Yeah, but they fucking.
Did you watch any of the coverage from Alberta? They were on TV.
What was funny?
For like 3 hours.
I can't believe that she won.
It's really early. We don't. They did not want to say that
I can't believe that she won. But the funny part is like watching everybody report on it. They all got more stunned as the evening went on. In clips I was watching, it's like, oh, these returns don't make sense. I'm like, well, they do. She's fucking winning. Like, and because of the Trump thing, everybody's like,
I knew any of this real? She was going to win.
Did you really?
I knew she was going to win. Here's the other thing. You know what? This is kind of okay. It's a fourth point.
Hang on. One more thing. Let me say this about people who voted for her in the province of Alberta. Let me say this about anybody who might love the UCP. A way to go. I mean, you guys have different values than, say, someone like myself or Lochlin. That's what it says. That's what I was woken up to over the past year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's like, hey, hang on. Maybe I don't agree with everything these fucking losers are saying, and I'm entitled to think they're fucking losers, and they think I'm a fucking loser. But good Lord, they're allowed. They're entitled to be the idiot that they are. And why are we telling them that they're idiots? Because they know deep down that they're idiots. And you're not an idiot if you vote for Danielle Smith, because you might be conservative. You might share some of those values.
Well,
we don't share similar values. And there are a lot of people in that province that don't share any progressive values, which is borne out.
I'm gonna add one thing to it, and I kind of when I talked about this on the air on Tuesday after she won, I had mentioned this, and I don't know which point that I inserted this into, but so it has to stand on the podcast as a fourth point. But the one thing that I think that the NDP government, and this ties back to the previous conversation we were having about being in Tim Hortons and being in a room with 30, 40, 50 people and only a handful of them being on Twitter and knowing anything about that world and being concerned about that world and caring about that world. The NDP, unfortunately, live in this bubble, and they have this idea about what the people of Alberta are concerned about, and they were wrong. And I kept saying they were wrong.
Yeah.
People in this province are more worried about how much money is going flying out of their fucking bank accounts every month than they're worried about schools, roads, bike lanes, hospitals, any of that shit. And the UCP, the one thing they did really, really well leading up to this election, and I'm telling you right now, this is why they
regionalized it. They scared the shit out of people with regionalized fear, and they did a fucking great job of it.
They basically stuck to a game plan. She put a cap on her crazy. She did. The last month and a half, 2 months. Ask anybody that followed this closely. She did. They tried to pull it out of her, but she suppressed it.
They were pulling collusion out of the bottle. They were pulling Nazi
statements. They were everything. They were doing everything.
Jewish statements, which are all real. It's almost hard to believe that she fucking won. Specifically,
it's that bubble.
We
live in a bubble. We see it. No one else sees it. They don't care.
True. That's true.
Okay, so when she was on point, and this is why I think PP might win. They do not fucking get off script ever. UCP were like, we're going to fucking fight the carbon tax. Yep. We're going to put more money in your pockets so that you can live a better life.
We're going to gaslight.
Ding.
Talk about money. You and temperature.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's what they hung their hat on.
Well, let's be serious for a second. Can I just for a second? Because we got to bring Colin.
And it worked.
It totally worked. But let me say this. It works in places where people are stupid. It's pretty factual. Like when you gaslight someone, you have to be dumb enough not to be able to reason.
You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that, but I want you to make sure that you admit that there's stupid people in fucking Ontario too.
Oh, dude, Doug Ford's our fucking premier. Of course there's stupid people in this.
I want to end on a positive.
Okay.
I want to end on a positive, okay? And then we can move on.
Yes, sir.
The one thing that I really like about where we're at is there is a ton of divisiveness in this country, okay? Especially when you introduce politics to any conversation. A lot of people can't even have a political conversation at the workplace.
I think, dude, I am currently in a thing with a female who does not want to talk about any of these things. And it's fucking wild. Like, because this is like, oh my, no,
I can't believe you're doing this to me.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Talk about it. But I'll tell you, and I'll tell you more about that later, which will blow your mind, because I'm like, I was just under the impression that X was X and Y was Y. And now we're in this place where the division that has been caused in society needs to be turned around and squarely put on all of them.
But hold on. All of them. But I don't want to assess blame here. I want to say there's a way out of it. And the way out, I think, is by getting people engaged, getting them in the bubble, being able to open up a conversation.
More drugs.
Without saying, you voted for Danielle Smith, so you're fucking stupid.
Fuck you. I don't want
to without having that conversation and going, okay, you voted. Good. That's good. You voted. I had this conversation with my wife because she was like, I'm not going to vote. And I'm like, you have to vote. I don't care what you put down on that piece of paper, honey. You and I can still talk about politics. You need to go vote. I want you to vote because I want people in my life and people that I respect to be a part of the process. Just be part of and we had 62% of the population vote. That's almost double what Ontario, the percentage that Ontario and how Doug Ford got in.
Yeah.
Man, that's a positive. In 2019, we had 69% of the population vote. It went down a little bit this time around because I think people's lives are busier. But we have provided an opportunity for people to vote way more. It's way more efficient now in this province and right across the country, federally, provincially. And people are engaged and they're actually wanting to share their voice.
And you know what?
That's the positive.
And let me just take a second to congratulate you on making the most salient point in politics this year, not just in provincial politics, but in the ecosystem that we all live and thrive and vote in. Alberta chose. Canada chose. Every province chooses. That's what they chose. And they chose by voting. So once again, my friend Lochlin is on it, is that if you really, really want things to be different, then more of you have to go vote than more of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, which really comes down to one thing and one thing only, which is you, one person. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You just have to get in that silo and then go and figure it out and go vote. And to
one guy lost by 4 votes in this province.
That's hilarious. Had 5 people voted, he might have won.
Well, and 62% of the population voted.
Yeah.
A million eligible people in Alberta chose not to vote. And you know what, man? I literally, on Tuesday morning last week, I walked out of the fucking building I work in. I walked across the street. Just ironically, there's a polling station in the Ramada right just north of the building I work in on Calgary Trail. And I walked in and there was a bunch of people in there voting. It was an hour after the polls had opened.
Yeah.
It was like 10 after 10.
Well, I think advanced voting was like fucking huge. It was like they set a record.
It was massive. And it was so easy. And the thing is,
by the way, it's advanced
polling.
Advanced
polling.
Voting.
You didn't need your registration card. You could just vote with as long as you had one piece of ID with your address on it, your current address, you could vote.
Yeah.
And I just think that the fact that we're doing that and that they're actually going out of their way to make it more difficult in other countries to vote, the fact that we've made it easier to vote and that we're trying to encourage the population to be a part of the process. I still think I would have a tough time making it like mandatory to vote. I still think it has to be a choice.
If you got a day
like
off.
In Australia, it's illegal if you don't. Like you can get fined.
Yeah, you should.
I think there should be an encouragement to vote. I think you should get 5% off your taxes or something like that. But
it's not a bad deal. They'd be happy. What are you going to do? You okay?
Yeah. Am I still on?
Yeah, you're still on.
Oh, there I am. Right, my screen, everything just went black.
Sorry.
I think we had a power outage or something.
Let's bring in Colin Livingstone from CANTORQUE. Did you vote? Colin?
Yeah, absolutely I did.
Colin definitely would vote.
You're right to exercise Democrat, right?
Did that get as choppy for you as it did for me, Locke? I didn't hear you well, Dean.
Try again, Dean.
You did. Okay, hang on. Let me just, I think I'm getting texts. Let me just quit a few things here. Hang on, gentlemen. Did you vote for, when you went to the voting poll, did you feel like Lochlin felt where he had to throw up in his fucking mouth?
I was shocked. I was expecting that when I got to the polling station that I knew the 2 main candidates. It turned out that there was only 3. So there was our UCP candidate who was the incumbent, Casey Maydew. If you know anything about Alberta, he's had a very, very eventful tenure as an MLA here. We had the NDP candidate who won, a gentleman named Nathan Ip, and a Green Party candidate, and that was it. So, unlike Locke, I mean, and I'm not questioning it. And first of all, by the way, it's really good to see you guys. It's been a long time. It was good to meet Dean face to face here a couple of weeks ago. Locke, I haven't seen you face to face in forever.
I hide in my house and drink.
Yeah,
I do the same thing, except until my fat ass can actually get in my cart and not tip over.
You're into racing? We couldn't tell.
all the racing flair behind you. There's the middle finger. Yeah, dude. So I go out. So Livingston, first of all, really happy.
That's a new record. We got in. He's been on how long? A minute?
Like at least 4 minutes.
I got a
before
finger.
you insulted a guest.
I got another one too.
So he's one of our sponsors, CANTORQUE. Go to cantorque.com for more information on the world's greatest torque wrenchers, looseners, and fasteners for every industrial application like mining, etc. But the reason why, so he calls me, Locke, and he's like, "Hey, come to the NASCAR race, the Canadian."
He's got no sound.
Oh, okay. So he says to me, "Come see me at Mosport," which is like an hour away from me. He and Tagliani are racing. So they're there for a big fucking Pinty's NASCAR race, and I'm like,
"How'd Tags do? How'd he do?"
6th. Unbelievable race, brand new car.
Good.
Yeah, I totally get it. So I show up to this thing, and it's a sea of fucking people, like a sea of people, like 30, 40,000 people. And you got to make your way past certain cars and certain paddocks, and they pull up, and I get up to the top, and I'm texting Livingston, and I'm like, "Where are you?" He's like, "I'm up here at the top." So I get to the top, and it's like, have you ever been to like a paddock, or have you been to a pit where you walk in and you see it's fucking like it's like Lego, but it's like high tech Lego with fast cars. Everybody's wearing like, the same gear. Livingston's in this thing. He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm a spotter. You're gonna come and stand with me the whole race." I stood at one of the corners and watched him spot, and he gave me a fucking headpiece. So I was in the game. I was in the game, in the Pinty's NASCAR game.
That's fun.
And I listened to the whole fucking race. If you have to go to if you can get a headset from Colin, ask him for one. He'll give you one so you can listen to it on your handset. It is one of the coolest fucking experiences I've ever been to. And I make fun of NASCAR for 50 years? Probably. Did I make fun of the kind of people that go to the events? A little bit. But dude, it's not like I only saw one mullet the whole day, and it was one of the most electric days I've ever had, just standing in the sun with a guy. And I was like, and ask you call. Like I was fucking into it, right? Like I was into it with the headphones. I'm like, okay, he's in 4th, he's in 3rd, he's fucking tell him this, and you could hear everybody talking. It was fucking wild. It was awesome. It was one of the best days I've had in a long time, call. It was awesome.
I appreciated all the questions because they were, usually when you bring someone to a race for the first time, they ask a lot of really dumb questions. And you were actually, you saw what was happening. You were asking what was going on. Eventually kind of picked up that, when we could see the car, because unfortunately at Mosport, it's a big track. It's about 2.5 miles. It's 10 turns. And where we stand, we only get to see the cars coming out of turn 10, and we see them through turn 1, and then they disappear over the hill before turn 2. So that was kind of my window. That's about all I was able to do. And, then we have about, a minute and 10 seconds or whatever, where we get to we just hang out and bullshit. All the spotters get along very well. Maybe you were counting on fights or, some inter team.
I was. I wanted to see, how you go to a race, like I wanted the whole race experience, Locke. I didn't just want to stand there and watch the race. I wanted to watch Bubba and him beat the shit out of each other at the corner, talking about who was in first.
Happened last year.
He only does that when he's golfing.
I only beat up my clubs. I never beat up someone else.
That happened. No, but it was collegial. Like all you guys were friends, and you're telling me that there was a fight with those guys. And by the way, some big boys are spotting. Like Colin's not a small guy. He can whoop some ass.
Yeah, it wasn't with the spotters, but after last year's race here in Wetaskiwin, and I won't mention the guy's name because I still to this day think he's
cars are cheaper in Wetaskiwin.
They definitely are. There's a lot of cheap things in Wetaskiwin, but
chicks
after the race, we were having a conversation with one of our friends, DJ Kennington, kind of debriefing. DJ came over because we got hit by one car twice. We got a little accident in the first half of the race, and then we were just absolutely like a little accident. Our car was basically fucked up after the first thing, and then towards the end of the race, we're just limping around the track. We're just trying to stay out of everyone's way. We were getting passed about 10 times a lap. So I, like, the last half of the race, I didn't stop. I basically had my microphone keyed open the whole time, and I'm letting Alex know, like, here's a 3-car pack, 2 cars back, 1 car back, outside looking, blah, 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 like nonstop. And the same guy who wrecked us in the first half of the race misjudged where we were, came down, hit us again. He got some contact. We actually got penalized for it. And after the race, the team owner.
If you bump into somebody, you lose points.
No, there is, NASCAR is pretty lenient with contact, but because it was the same guy the second time, and because it was towards the end of the race, NASCAR said, you did that intentionally to pay this guy back. And it actually took an appeal and a lot of video evidence and photo evidence and testimony. And it was a big thing. It took, it probably took, Alex put about 10 hours of prep into the thing, and we were on this conference call for probably 3 hours to plead our case. But the point is, like, when...
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's that petty?
Well,
or it can get that petty, like, oh, well, you bumped him a second time, and we think that's intentional, so now we have to have a chat. Is that for fucking real? It's racing.
Well, the second part of it happened because we appealed the penalty. NASCAR, the race director at the time said he saw what happened, and they never see what happens because we weren't the lead car, and the guy that passed us wasn't in the lead pack, so there's no way that they actually saw what happened. Yeah. But when they saw who was involved, they said, this is what happened. So because Alex got like a 10-point penalty, which is significant, where we were in the standings, we had to appeal it because, we knew down to our core that it wasn't a deliberate action. If we were going to take this guy out as punishment, you don't wait to take a half swing at the guy with 5 laps to go.
Oh, you fucking T-bone him in pit row if you're going to take him out.
Our car was already fucked. So if it was about retaliation, we wait. He tells me, like, let me know when the fill in the blank car is coming. We let him know. And then all of a sudden, boom, you make body contact. You both go sliding into the wall, and that's it. But the point is,
inside racing, I fucking love it.
I've worked with Alex for, I don't know how many years, but as a spotter one way or another for 6-7 years, that conversation has never happened. And if it ever happens, I'm going to take my headset off and say, I'm done. Like, I don't tolerate that kind of shit. I'm not there for the accidents. It's not about retaliation, but
I would be horrible at that job. I'd be like, fucking hit him.
We're talking to DJ after the race, and DJ, came up and said, man, what was that guy thinking? I saw him come down on you. I saw him create this accident, and they were talking. And then all of a sudden, this team owner just comes out of nowhere, came from the infield. We were outside the track, and he starts yelling. And he's yelling obscenities. This is a podcast. I can't repeat what he said.
Actually, you can. It is a podcast. You can repeat anything he said.
I know I could.
Be careful.
I'm not going to, because there could be an element of...
Did it rhyme with cocksucker? Did he drop a cocksucker? He did. An MF? Did he go motherfucker and cocksucker? Is that what he did?
Think more female genitalia.
Rhymes with stunt. I get it. All right.
Yeah, we were in the middle. So he comes over this hill and he starts screaming at Alex, like, you fucking wreck all my cars. You're the worst fucking driver in the series. You're fucking blah, 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 blah. Now, Alex is not known to back down from any of these things. Now, Alex is pretty good at amplifying because he likes to defend himself. And the way Alex argues is that he'll argue to change your mind, which in this case was kind of futile. So they're going back and forth, and I'm standing off to the side. You saw Alex 2 weeks ago. Alex is about... I'll round up. Let's say Alex is 5'5". And
you know what? Honestly, I'll say this though. I wouldn't fuck with him.
No.
He is a strong little bastard. Like, he is a brick.
But he's not.
I would never fuck with him.
No. He's not a fighter.
No. Okay.
Like,
but he'd kick your ass.
He will argue with you for 5 consecutive hours without taking a breath, but he's not a fighter. So this thing
might be a nationality thing.
It doesn't, like the Quebecois guy from Italy. There's
loud as a motorbike, wouldn't bust a grace, been a food fight. I get it. Yeah, it's all good.
So they're going back and forth, and all of a sudden, this guy grabbed. So Alex again, 5'5". Now he carries a backpack with him everywhere. This backpack, and
he looks like a 6th grader. He's so small. He's so cute.
He's got his EpiPen in there. He's got to have his shit. He's got to have his shit.
This thing is 40 fucking pounds. Like, it is heavy. So he carries this thing around. This guy grabs Alex by the shirt, or by his sweater or whatever it was, and he get into frame. He reels back and he's going to punch Alex. And I didn't think, I just kind of jumped in the middle. I grabbed the guy. I squeezed him to kind of just like,
Stop it.
What was going on. I'm holding this guy. I squeezed him so hard that I ended up tearing 2 muscles in my shoulder that kept me like completely fucked up for about 4 months.
Yeah.
He got a hand free and popped me about 3 times in the face. Now, fortunately, he punches like an infant. And I don't care if he hears this and he wants to square up. Like anytime, I know what's coming now, and I will beat the living shit out of him. I don't fucking care anymore, because I wasn't looking for a fight. But now, if it ever comes up again, it's going to be very bad. But you want to see the fight, you follow me. I'll take you places.
How did it end? With you bleeding?
I did have a little bit of a cut.
Okay.
All
right.
We had to, like, because someone from NASCAR saw it, they made us go to the NASCAR hauler, because that kind of stuff is not actually permitted. We had to talk to the series director. We had to, kind of tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Of course, Alex, when he starts telling the story, all they want to hear is like, what happened? So this, and this. You don't have to plead your case. You don't have to do anything. Did anyone see it? Yes.
It's
DJ.
always a preamble.
DJ. So then Alex is like, I'm basically grabbing him now and saying, like, bud, we got to get out of here. You've said what we need to say. He's like, but you got to talk to DJ. He saw the whole thing. There's no doubt. Like, Alex, bud, let's go. We're not like, this isn't the time.
Keep in mind, this is one of the most famous race car drivers in the history of this country, right?
Yeah.
He's got him in a bear hug, and he's like, hey, you got to leave. We can't do this.
You know what, though?
Bleeding out of your mouth.
I got advice for people on the male energy aggression thing. Because I witnessed something again last night, and I quite often wonder why I don't get into more physical confrontations. Like, to be honest with you, I wonder. I go to bed quite often going, I can't believe someone did not beat the shit out of me last night, like on a fairly regular basis, because I'm mouthy, and I know I'm big, but I get into situations quite often when I'm drinking. And the thing is, like, last night was another one, and I got advice for people.
Last night you were out getting hammered on a Thursday.
53 years old. Yeah, he's out last night at a premiere for The Machine or something. Like, he was like, and he's hammered and he's getting in arguments in bars. And he just clued in on this podcast today after 53 years. He's like, it might be the booze.
No. It's not the booze. It's I'm an asshole. I've done this sober.
Oh, okay, it's both.
But we were in the theater, and we had quite a few drinks before we went into the theater, and there was one guy in particular that wanted to do the shirts off thing. So he tarps off and he starts making a scene. Bert Kreischer, I'm not doing this with you, Colin. Bert Kreischer, comedian, movie. He has his shirt off all the time. So anyway, Mal's got his shirt off in the theater. Okay, you have no idea who Bert Kreischer is.
You're there with Deb?
I fucking love you. No, I don't take my.
You don't know who Bert Kreischer is? The Machine?
No.
A lot of people don't.
I've never heard that name in my life.
Oh, we got.
I love you. I do.
We need you to watch like 30 hours of Netflix in the next like hour and a half, and then you can come back.
You know what? You would actually like Tom Segura. You would love Tom. He might. Colin might not appreciate Bert Kreischer, but he would. Tom Segura, you would appreciate. He's fucking funny.
Do you have a television, Colin?
I do. I don't have television service though.
Okay, so anyway, doesn't matter.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So we were in the theater and we're making a scene. We got like as many drinks as they would serve us at the popcorn stand. We emptied their fridge. We go into the theater. Mel's got his fucking shirt off, and all of a sudden, security comes in, and they come in. They're rolling hard. So there's like 5 of them. And we're sitting down at this point, except for Mel and for Jimmy. And we got this all on video. We'll have it out next week. But they were ready to kick us all out. And we're like, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then Grant started doing something, and I've seen him do this before. He goes, hey, it's the midget's fault. It's the fucking midget's fault. Blame him. I'm telling you, we get out of more shit because we're rolling with a drunk midget. It's the best thing in the world.
Jimmy
if you
was
guys can
drinking?
befriend somebody that's a little person, and if he's an alcoholic, you're gold.
You can do
we get
anything.
away with more shit. I tell you.
And you can get to the front of the line at Canada's Wonderland every single fucking time.
But what
we did not get kicked out. No one went to fisticuffs, all because they started laughing when we were saying it's the midget's fault.
But what was the precursor? Why did this guy want to fight you? What were you doing? Like,
No. It was
being
security.
him.
Security rolled in on us because we had a couple of guys with shirts off and we were making a scene.
They were being untoward. They were behaving poorly. That's what and it had nothing to do with alcohol, apparently, according to Locke. It's just the fact he's an asshole. That's what he said.
No. I blame the booze. We were rowdy.
I don't know. All I know is it's nice to actually be on a podcast with you guys. It's been a while. And I fucking stuffed Colin Livingstone in a locker like 4 times in a row. He was pissed at me.
So pissed. I liked reading that earlier today. I am like, you can see how red my face is. I am like beside myself.
No, he wasn't pissed. I get a text. We were supposed to do a podcast on Wednesday, right? And Colin was going to join us on Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, because we were supposed to do on Monday.
Yeah, he was texting
I had to go to
me.
Vegas, and I sent him a text. And I'm like, yeah, I was just fucking out of it. I was just too busy. And I'm like, yeah, let's pick up. I said, first he texted me on Monday. He goes, I don't see a link. It was like Monday at 4:00. Are we going live? And I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry, dude. I totally forgot to tell you. I'm traveling. I can't make it.
I'm over Utah.
I said I'm over Utah somewhere, but I had Wi-Fi on the flight and not on the way back, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, what is this? The Stone Ages. So anyway,
they don't have it.
I was so mad on the way home. I was so pissed. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be Mr. Where's my airplane Wi-Fi rich guy thing here. Okay. I'm not going to do that. So then on Wednesday, you and I are supposed to go. You send me a note saying, I can't, I'm busy, got too much going on. I'm like, no problem. So I don't call Livingstone again. He's like, I'm starting to get a fucking complex. It's me.
I'm starting to take it personally.
I started to take it personally. And then I'm like, dude, I swear to God, we're going Friday. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about NASCAR, Pinty's NASCAR.
A lot of this
series.
is my fault, too.
It is his fault. Thank you, Lochlin.
We've been, because I'm getting almost daily, I get notes because people are used to this thing happening more regular than we have been. And people are like, what's going on? Is somebody actually asked if you were in jail? And I'm like, as far as I know, Dean's not in jail. But I have been just absolutely fisted at work in the last couple of weeks.
So you got a promotion.
So I'm working like 80 hours a week right now. It's insane. And
which when you're in radio, you got to cut that in half because it means he's now got like 40 hours of real work that he got to tack on to him drinking beers in the morning on the radio.
No, I'm not. That's no. You know,
60?
you know.
I know. I'm
working 12-hour days and I'm working on the weekends. And
you know what it's like?
It's insane right now.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. You work hard too, but you've also been busy, and the two of us have not been able to make it work. True. So, and I legitimately this week, I was like hyperventilating at one point because we were going to do a pod.
Is that
on
when
Wednesday.
You sent me an email and you're like, I'm gonna fucking crack. I can't go today.
I was ready to crack
busy.
on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. And this is, I will say this, is that I'm fucking so sick of this shit. Like, I'm not doing podcasts with you guys, but I'm sick of the content everybody has to chase over a long period of time. Like, it's been, fucking 3 years? And in the content game, in a world where we're talking about nothing but, like, you know, this group, that group, they're bad, why you shouldn't believe that guy, trying to fucking break stuff down, cultural shit, divisive shit, political shit. I got so fucking tired of it. I welcome the break. Like, I welcome the idea that you're like, dude, I'm too busy. I can't do it. I'm like, oh, fuck, thank God, because I am so exhausted.
But we find fun ways of dealing with this shit.
Yeah, we have a good time doing it. We're responsible doing it. But the dirge of content, like when I went to the NASCAR race, Mosport, Pinty's NASCAR, Colin Livingstone, Team CANTORQUE, Tagliani, when I went there, I spent the whole day outside with these people, right? I don't know the quality of individual at any of these things. Everybody was incredibly nice. Nobody was talking about anything to do with anything other than racing. When I went to Vegas, I've been twice for business. Every time I've been, nobody's talking about the things everybody's talking about online and the things that people want from us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was so fucked in the head. I was like, I had to take a break. So the last month for me has been just incredible because now I understand. Like, and I would encourage everybody, not just if you're doing online content, but if you're fucking on Twitter, get off. If you're on social media all the time, get off. If you think you're applying change on your fucking phone in social media, stop. Go and live your life. Talk about the fucking shit you want to talk about. Talk about NASCAR. Talk to your friends about movies and getting drunk. Talk about real things. These things that they want us to talk about, which has really been the grind for us here at Crier, which is why we're moving forward and we're moving on and we're leaving all that shit behind. It's like fucking disastrous now. Like it just all it does is make people fucking crazy and fucking negative and dirgy and black and stupid. Yes, go ahead, Colin Livingstone over there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Isn't it somewhat ironic to be online telling people not to be online?
Yeah, but
No.
Okay.
No, not
like that.
Not like that. Dean and I listen, I would like to get some fucking credit for where you're at right now. Because I have been saying this now for how long? A couple of years. I've been trying to get you to put the brakes. You're such a dick. I've been trying to get you to put the brakes on your constant battles online and some of the, and I do it too. And the reason why I think I noticed it in you is because I also have a tendency to do this. And you're a very self-aware person, Dean. You're one of my closest friends. And I think the reason you are one of my closest friends is because you actually don't have your head completely in your ass. Right. But with this, you would get in a wormhole on some of these topics and you would be hyper focused on it. And I would be like, we gotta change gears here. We gotta
different topic.
Yeah,
something
like
else.
let's stop.
Couldn't
like
do it.
No one
couldn't do it.
Yeah, you were hyper focused on
it. I was fucked in the head. Like, and I'm happy to say that right here on this program. I'm actually happy to do it with you guys on the show. Colin's got this beautiful new podcast called Talking Torque, where he talks about other things. He talks like the racing. You talk about people. You talk about
but Colin's in his own little fucking bubble, and that could be a problem too.
He is. Yeah. Anyway,
come and pop the bubble, buddy.
Yeah, do it. It's worth saying that there is a lot of stuff going on in this world. I understand we want to talk about disease and politics all the time, but I fucking couldn't do it. So I've welcomed the actual break. Colin, I'm sorry I fucked you over twice this week. And we're not going to be doing any of that stuff anymore. We might dip into it a little bit.
It's pretty good though. And I gotta say, like, further to what Locke brought up, like, to be 100% sincere, after that race, you and I got to spend a bit of time together, went back to your house, and it's really, really strange. Like, you still look the same to me, Dean, but now, having been to your home, your studio looks very different to me, kind of knowing exactly where you're sitting.
Yeah.
I was expecting that as we're sitting there kind of, shooting the shit, you would be on your phone almost nonstop, fighting with someone, like, talking about the argument that was going online. We were at your house for what, like probably 3.5, 4 hours, because my flight ended up delayed. And it was just kind of an effortless, nonstop chat about like
life,
every facet of life that you can squeeze.
Actually, can I jump in here? I will say this too. This is, while we're blowing smoke up Dean's ass, I think that's one of the reasons why I value his friendship so much, is that when Dean, as much as he did go down these wormholes and he did, psychological damage to himself online, fighting with people for months at a time.
Part of it was fun though too. Part of it was
you did enjoy it, but yeah. I also think, and Dean, actually, this is another thing that I think Dean needs to work on. Dean is a very good friend. If you're going through anything and you want to talk to somebody and you want to talk something through, Dean is not the type that sits there, and I'm bad for this. I'm like, if my fucking phone goes off, I don't care what we're talking about. We could be talking about you getting a divorce and joining a cult, and I'll be like, hold on. Yeah, but the barbecue guy just texted me. Give me a second. Dean doesn't do that.
Sent me a deal. Yeah.
Dean does not do that. When he's engaged, he's engaged. When you've got his attention, you've got his full attention, and that's a gift. It's also a bit of a curse, and I have chastised Dean on this before because he has people in his life that take advantage of that and have taken up a lot of his time because he is so good at giving it, and he is good at giving advice. He's good at giving you reasonable advice as well. And so,
yeah, I mean, that stands true. Now, getting back, I don't want to have anything any more to do with Dean's ass. That was a whole, you were talking about blowing smoke up his ass. That was a whole subplot.
I have a decent turd cutter for 50. I will say that. It's not a terrible shitter.
And so does your son. Like, you call your show the locker room. I'm telling you, his living room is the locker room. That was like an unprecedented fart fest between as he says, the Blundell boys.
The Blundell boys. Yeah. Like, dude, we just raise kings here. That's all we do. Appreciate it. Nice comments. Really awesome. Listen, part of this whole exercise with Cryer Meter is about being better people, right? It's not just about being better at content. It's none of those things.
Thank God I'm here.
But it's about being better people. And so, I'm grateful that I get a chance to work with people like you. And not that we're, we are signing off soon. I'm grateful that I get a chance to work with my friends. I hold those things to be really important. And more importantly, we're supposed to be doing this shit together, right? Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Sometimes, am I good with details and scheduling? Locke will tell you that. The answer is no.
You're fucking awful with it. It's so frustrating.
I'm such a nice person that Lochlin often forgives me, as you do forgive me. But going back to your point about togetherness, right? And the podcast and all the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis. In this place that we're in Alberta, in the place that Alberta's in after that election, the division that we have across this country, I don't want to farm that anymore. Sure, algorithmically, it gets a lot of clicks, but you know how fucking bad it is for your brain? I do. Everybody here does. Everybody knows how bad it is to sit and fight people online that you don't know over things that you don't really fucking care about. And what's worse is you will never control them anyway. Yeah. So, but we're no longer doing that content. We have people that will dip in. We have people that are going to speak their mind. You'll still do that
content.
I'm off Twitter, dude. I haven't been on Twitter for like 2 weeks. Literally. I have other people doing it for me. If I have something that wants to go out there, I'm done. I'm done.
You'll still be a dick online. You'll find a way.
I'm going to send my dickish comments to the person that posts them on Twitter for me. And the reason why I did that wasn't because I don't trust myself. I'm so fucking sick of it. Yeah. It's so negative. It's so silly. Right? Like I was at a race with Colin outside all day, sun. I looked terrific. My neck was red, totally fit in. It was awesome. Spent the day with Colin. Then he flew. I went to Vegas. I'm not on Twitter when I'm in Vegas at the Lila at the Wynn Casino with my friends watching this dinner show with this beautiful woman, and she's dancing and she's singing and you're fucking eating steak and you're. I'm like, dude, thank God I'm not on Twitter right now. I'm actually appreciating life and seeing things in front of me that not many people get a chance to see. So that's being mindful and being present and all those things. So once again, we're moving past all the dirge. Just wanted to let everybody know that. And Colin, you're next. We need to get your head right out of the COVID clouds, and we need to get you to start talking about racing.
Is my head in the COVID clouds?
No, not at all.
I had no idea. That's a couple of things that I've been told that I'm doing here. It was funny because a couple of weeks ago, getting back to the online negativity, I shared like we're trying to hire a few people, at CANTORQUE right now. So I've been running ads and I get a number of really, really, really questionable resumes. And the one that I got here a couple of weeks ago was a guy, one of the things we ask is to be able to understand and follow instructions, whether they're verbal or in writing. Pretty straightforward. It's not asking for an awful lot. And we had a guy who submitted a resume that was from a form that had a whole bunch of fields to fill in, and he didn't change it. He didn't change. So the resume reads like, I'm really excited to be applying for the position within company, organization, bank, or charity. I am thrilled to be, I believe I am super qualified to be hired for
a form letter action
position. And there's like 30 fields.
I'm worried.
So I
I'm
posted
really
that
worried.
thing, and I'm like, wow, this is one of my contenders
I thought
for
we would
the
get
worst.
thought
And
we
there
would
was a
get
guy
started.
that jumps online and he says, instead of whining about it, maybe you should give this guy some constructive feedback. And so it's
No.
like, okay, well, like
You're a fucking idiot. Does that work?
I just said I'll send him your way. And then he responds to me, wow, you're really good CEO material. I'm like, okay. I said, let me know what business you run, and I'd love to check it out. And then all of a sudden the guy dropped off.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff we get to deal with.
It's fucking unbelievable. I don't know how many people, because of your association with us, have sent you a DM saying you should stop doing business with that guy. He's a fucking loser. He's an asshole. He's
To me,
this.
I have zero.
Oh, that's incredible. Anyway, send him to CANTORQUE.com if you have a complaint. Send him to Colin. He'll get it right there.
I still get them.
Do you?
Dean, he's a homophobic. But all right.
Dean doesn't like the gays.
You don't know that story, right? Like, yeah. All right. Okay.
Homophobic, like you only transmit one channel sound.
Yeah. It's not in stereo. All right. Colin Livingstone, CANTORQUE.com. How are things at CANTORQUE? Are you making the world's most beautiful torque?
What do you need? Like, who are you hiring? That's actually that's a better question.
Call out here. Yeah.
Okay. So as my I'm divorced, but I still refer to my father-in-law as my father-in-law. He's one of the wisest people I've ever met. And even back to the day when we got engaged, I went and formally asked him for permission. And I said, I've understood that giving your daughter away to be married is kind of like handing a Stradivarius to a gorilla. And he chuckled and he said, listen, we're not really looking for Mr. Right. We're looking for Mr. Trainable. And that's really what we're looking for within CANTORQUE. Like we're looking for technicians, people who can work with their hands. You cannot have previous experience. You cannot come from one of our competitors. You cannot work for a customer. You cannot work for a supplier.
You don't want to beat all the bad habits out of them.
But that's a big part of it, but I also don't want to open the doors. Well, most of the competitors I have here in Edmonton are fucking scumbags, and they will hire all the garbage that we get rid of here. I won't do that. I won't bring somebody in from,
that was a low-key dig, by the way. I loved it. Most of my competitors are fucking scumbags. No,
that wasn't low-key.
Yeah.
That's I'm working on trying to get a little bit more.
You don't change a fucking thing. You continue to stay the same beautiful man you are.
God damn, Dean, you're awesome. Thank you very much. Like my head's going to explode. It should make good TV, but
yeah, well,
we're just looking for people who come in. Our tools are not complicated. They're hydraulic powered. In every interview, I explain, like, we are not building rocket ships. We are not putting people on the moon. We are not curing cancer. It's not all that complicated. So
building tools.
Yeah. Functional, mechanical knowledge that we can kind of impart our specificities.
You're downplaying it though. You would have to be extremely creative, not only good with your hands, but also thinking. You would have to be able to think outside of the box in order to work with Colin.
You got to be capable. Yeah, he's a driver too. Like, I spent a few hours with him on the weekend. That Colin Livingstone is a CEO. Like, it's his company, and he fucking loves it. So you gotta be. Here, let me help you with your resume.
But he gets companies coming to him and they go, I have this. Yes. This is my problem. And then Colin has to go back with his team and find a tool to fix the fucking problem. So you have to be creative. Not only do you have to be good with your hands
in a lot of situations.
Man, that's hard to find. You're looking for somebody that is, you're looking for exceptional people.
Always, but with regard to that, the customization, that's my responsibility. I don't take a customer suggestion and throw it to a junior technician who's been with me for 3 months and say, hey, can you build a fucking Quidgy bow? That's not the way it works. We basically just need someone to come in to help us learn how to service and assemble these tools, pumps, things like that, and then depending on who they are and depending on what kind of skill set they show and where their aptitude really is, then we kind of mold them and try and turn them into something. So that's really it. We're trying to find 1 to 2 people. We've got, I think we narrowed it down to 6 of the applicants. I think this last round, I got 110
wow.
resumes that, almost instantly 80 of them were rejected. And to be fair, Locke, you don't really like this position. You're not really going to be working with me, although I do have ultimate authority, but you end up working with my son, and he's actually a really nice guy. He's nothing like me at all. So you'd be able to.
Well, and I will say, if anybody's listening to this that knows somebody or even themselves, and they're looking for
in
a
Edmonton,
good company, they're in Alberta.
Yep.
Actually, Edmonton's one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now because of the opportunities we have in Alberta, and we've diversified. This is an oil and gas province, but we have diversified. This is a tech city. This is a very strong entrepreneur city, and Colin is one of those guys. And this is a good company. CANTORQUE is a really fucking good company that is
run by a good man, a good human being, a guy who actually gives a shit, a guy who likes human beings and wants to treat them well, and he makes excellent product.
Working for, if you're being chewed up in the machine of a big fucking company right now and you want to change,
Livingston. Yeah. How can people send where can they send your resume? Give us the details real quick.
They can just email me directly, colin@cantorque.com. I guess a lot of people are kind of reluctant. My info is all over the internet, so I don't hide from that.
Send me a note on social media. I'll hook you up with Colin's contact info.
Yeah, me too. Everybody, you can DM me and I'll give you Colin's information. With having said that, now that we've done a call to action for a job, heard about you getting punched out by some old guy, covered the election, had a few laughs. I want to thank Colin for being here. Colin Livingstone, CANTORQUE.com, making rugged, hardworking, beautiful industrial torque wrenches for people in industries you can't find them in. Railroad, heavy machinery, forestry, nuclear, doesn't matter. That gentleman brought all his manufacturing back from overseas into Canada because he believes in Canada. He believes in the people of Edmonton. So if you want a job, there's an actual patriot that's willing to give you one if you can cut the mustard, if you will. On top of it, if you're in the industry and you're looking for a solution in the industrial torque tooling industry or in the industrial tooling industry, CANTORQUE.com for more information. At Talking Torque is the name of his podcast. You can download and sub to that on every available platform as well. Everything from racing to solutions is in his
always
industry.
Has a stocked beer fridge too.
Always has a massive beer fridge. No, I don't have it. Yeah.
I haven't got to touch it though in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. He's dry because he's got to lose weight to get in his car.
Gotta get it down.
Yeah, he's got to get his weight down. And I'm like, good thing Lochlin doesn't ride a cart because he would not go on that journey if he.
I'm losing weight right now, actually.
By not drinking, or are you still pounding?
No,
booze?
I'm still drinking like a. I don't know why.
You've cut out food.
I'm not sure why I'm losing weight. I've.
Well, you might want to check with your
doctor. It's the diet beer.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But anyway, Colin, thanks for being here. Lochlin Cross at Lochlin Cross on Twitter. Host of the Locker Room, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton.
Monday, we're talking about your fucking girlfriend. The whole show. That's it. We're doing a whole show on your girlfriend.
No.
Yes. You can't bring it up. You can't tease me with this bullshit and then not think that we're doing a whole fucking show dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Back on Monday, we're going to find out her name, where she works.
Then what we'll do is we'll have if we do that, I'm open, but then we're going to have the very conversation that you and I had prior to going on the air too. So we'll put those things together and we'll have a lot of fun. The answer is no. Everybody wins. Thanks, dude. 957cruisefm.ca is where you can listen to Locklin's morning show every single weekday morning. Dude, I have a hammer here too. You can't just subjack me like this. I'll tell you off the air. We'll have a normal conversation like humans. But it's not entertainment. It's my personal life.
That's fucking entertaining.
Just blowing the wind right out of the sails here doing the show. Right?
Thanks, boys. We'll talk to you soon. Colin, Lochlin, thanks for being here. You can make sure you download Colin's podcast. Really good. It's great little talker. He's got guests from the Pinty's NASCAR series, guys from Quick-Wick. Great guy from Quick-Wick. Just little thing. It's like it's looks a little candle. It'll light anything on fire. It's unbelievable. It's like science meets function meets camping meets burning things. It's awesome. Anyway, thanks, Colin. Download his Talking Torque podcast today. Give him a follow online. Thanks everybody for being here. I want to thank our partners and friends that make this whole thing possible, including our friends at CANTORQUE. We already gave them a stroke. Might as well give them another one. They make rugged, hardworking, beautiful torque wrenches, Canada's leading industrial tool experts, offering you the very best in sales, service, rentals, calibration, maintenance, and custom fab. Industrial torque tools, no matter the scale of your bolting project, they have your solution. Go to cantorque.com today. Also, our friends at Kivlaw, Southern Ontario's best criminal defense lawyers. They want to get you out of trouble and do it now. Go to kivlaw.ca for details today. Or Robert at Kivlaw.ca. Again, Robert at Kivlaw.ca. Don't go through a legal issue yourself. That's stupidity. It means you're an idiot. And Ed's Fine Imports, his Gitch, we wear them. So should you. Engineered for any level of performance in everyday life. Super soft, barely there. Comfort and fabric. You can run with it, walk with it, crawl with it. You can sleep in them. You can go play volleyball. You could cricket. I mean, you big cricket guy. These are perfect for cricket. Great for anything. Doesn't matter if you're in the office or you're out and about. Gitch is the perfect pair of underwear, and they're made in Canada for Canadians. Buy 3 and get 1 free. Go to edsfineimports.com today. Use promo code GITCH3 at checkout, and you, my friends, will have your nuts and your fella in the greatest pouch boxer briefs known to man. Gitch by edsfineimports.com. That's it for us. Have a great day. Nice to be back. See you on Monday. We'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Monday's a big day. We're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. Monday's a big day. Wednesday, Mr. Adler joins us again, and we'll talk about his new podcast. Once again, Charles Adler. Now here at crier.co, the home of one Charles Adler. So we'll do that on Wednesday, and then on Friday we'll recap with Lochlin. But have a great day, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.